Wesley, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me on the Biscuit Blitz. I appreciate it. So before we start the clock, I would love for you to just say who you are, how long you've lived in Charlotte, and what you do.
I'm Wesley Mancini, and I'm a fabric designer. My company is 39 years old, and that long I've been in Charlotte, although 6 years was Concord. So technically 33 years in Charlotte. I moved the studio from Concord to Charlotte.
Got it. Well, we could call it the greater Charlotte area, just
Yeah.
to kind of round it out. Great. So you have a nice tenure here in the Charlotte area. I love that. I love
It's
that.
changed a lot.
It certainly has. You can testify to that. Well, let me start the clock and we'll dive in and get to a few questions here. And the first place I want to start is just with you personally. How are you holding up in the midst of everything that we're facing as a community right now, from the pandemic to the unrest and everything else? How are you doing?
Well, I have my own little world here, which is fortunate that I have a dog and a greenhouse. So I've been able to, on personal time, just spend a lot of time repotting plants and being in the yard and playing with the dog. And I still do a lot of work. What's going on outside in the world is so upsetting. It's frightening. But for me to work, I have to kind of be in a happy place. I can't design beautiful fabrics and be depressed.
Right.
So I kind of have to block it out of my head.
Well, so let's talk about your work. You took your passion for fiber art, you turned it into this celebrated career as a fabric and textile designer. Your career has been marked with many, many achievements, including an NEA grant for woven fabric design. How has this current state of our society, the pandemic, impacted your field and your day-to-day life of your career?
Well, the field has been hit really badly because no one's buying furniture. So the mill had, very little orders, and technically we try to keep the mill running 24/7. And for my 39 years, I've designed for the largest mill in the world. So my division is, it's always got to grow, grow, grow. So to be stopped is pretty, monumental. However, the studio has designed continuously. I'm the lead. It has to have one voice, one vision, and that's mine. So my associates, we all work together, and there's many different areas that we focus on. So there's like the art, there's the weave technicians, there's the you have to cost it, you have to color it, and all of that gets into one fabric. So each person kind of specializes in an area. And so we have to stay connected. So that part's been really hard. And even though we've managed to do it, I'd rather we weren't.
It's clearly a collaborative art form, and collaborations are being challenged right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the fabrics get to me, and then I have to make comments and do it all over the line. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, Wesley, you've also been a leader in the arts world here in Charlotte. You've served on many, many boards: McCall Center, Mint Museum of Craft and Design, Beckler, and the ASC. Are you serving on any boards right now? And if so, what have those conversations been like at the board level?
I'm still on the ASC board, and I'm really proud of the ASC because their focus is really diversity, equity, and inclusion across the board on everything they do. And that is like the key of what the world, in my mind, should be. So they're still like focusing on that and keeping their voice heard.
Yeah.
And besides that part, we're short that artists have been able to get some funding during this time without making money.
Yeah, that emergency fund, certainly a great resource for our creative community. In doing a little research, because you and I actually haven't had a chance to get to know each other that well yet. So I did a little research and I found a quote that you said in the Charlotte Observer, which was, "Make it happen, get motivated, be an activist or a civic leader." This was you encouraging people to dive into causes that they feel passionate about. And certainly you lead by example. You're a local civic leader. You're a leader in the LGBTQ community. And the final question I have for you, today there's so much to focus on. There's so much work to do. Do you have any advice for Charlotteans who are maybe overwhelmed by the volume of everything that needs support? How do we focus our energy and our passion into leadership and service?
Well, that's a tough one. I would think follow your heart and do what's right, because I think we all know what's right. At least in my mind, we do. Of course, there are us and them, which is not a good thing, because we should all be one, because we are all one.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This is such a scary time. We've never had anything. I'm just really worried about it all.
It is worrying. It's very, very worrying time. But I do like your advice of following your heart. This idea of, gosh, where do I focus my energy? Do I try to get involved in all of it, or do I focus on one or two things that are speaking to me personally? And so I do think that is, it's powerful advice for people that want to get involved and make a difference in changing this world in the way it needs to be changed. So thank you for that.
Sure.
And thank you for spending a few minutes with me on the Biscuit Blitz. I can't wait to get to know you even better once we can finally get face to face.
Likewise. I can't believe 5 minutes is over.
It goes by fast, doesn't it? Time flies when you're having fun. Thank you, Wesley.